Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Muzz and the Chefs. How the hell did we end up here? Episode 20.
20. We're going to be an adult next week.
Gonna be what?
Adult, 21.
Oh,
We should have a party for our 21st show, shouldn't we?
no.
Okay.
That's party every week. Okay. So every week, ladies and gentlemen, if you could like, subscribe, comment, and all that kind of stuff on Facebook and YouTube, although you can't subscribe on Facebook. Like us on Facebook, like the page, and comment and like our posts on there. That'd be wonderful. And also, if you could do the same on YouTube, would be excellent. So, it's your topic this week.
Yes, it is.
So, what are you going to slap me in the face like a dead fish with today?
Before we get into it, last week was your conspiracy theory
Conspiracy
one.
theories.
Now, I have looked at one thing about Bohemian Grove, and it does exist.
Told you.
It does exist. That
Told ya.
doesn't mean what you said goes on there.
What did I say goes on there?
Oh, the world leaders get together and
They do
decide.
get together there.
No, it was more rich people. It was more...
Well, world leaders.
when
are
you
rich
say
people.
world leaders, I think presidents and...
Yeah, they do.
some of them do, but
Some.
yeah.
I don't know if Obama went there.
The guy who built it was the guy who built the atomic bomb.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
So it is real, though.
It does exist.
What goes on there is, I guess, up for question. But it's so secretive, and that's the thing. It's so secretive that people don't, conspiracy theorists get all, excited when something, is secret. Like, oh, it's secret. It must be, sacrificing babies there or something. I don't know.
So my subject.
Your subject this week, yes.
Now, there's 1,000 questions around this, and you're going to love this because this is right up your alley.
Oh,
So we're really close to Halloween,
we are.
and we're going down the ghost paranormal road today.
Oh, okay.
So it's close to religion because, first of all, is there such thing as ghosts? Do they attach to buildings or people, and why?
And ironically, I wore this shirt. I didn't know that when I put this on. He was going to bring the subject up.
Why do some become ghosts and some not become ghosts? And is the spirit world in contact with each other? Like, do they know each other exists? The ghosts.
Okay.
So where do you want to go with that? Where do you want to start with that?
Well, you can read my book for starters. I talk about all of this in my book. Ghost Guide. It's called. And
I have a signed copy.
Yeah.
I put it on eBay, but nobody bought
Understand.
it.
Was it? I can't remember the name of the subtitle now. But yeah, how to understand and investigate ghosts. Something that I can't remember.
Well, so you obviously 100% believe they exist.
Look, I've had enough experiences, and I've seen things that most people would describe as being a ghost. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can the ghost see us?
Well, there are some interesting questions around this. This isn't going to be very funny. It's going to be very factual.
Oh, no, it's not. It's going to be funny, trust me.
Okay, so there's kind of I don't know if I subscribe to these theories anymore. There's two or three maybe main theories about what ghosts might be. Ghosts are the spirits of dead people.
Yep, that'll be the theory everybody's used to.
Yeah, probably. And then there's the theory of the residual ghost or the imprint ghost.
So it's the residual energy the human left before it died.
Yeah. So one of the examples, I'll just give a generic sort
Why
of
can't there
example.
be two?
Two what?
Why can't it both be right?
Well, they could be, but we just don't know. We just don't know enough about it. And the problem is, and this is where a lot of the skeptics sort of get all very skeptical, ironically enough,
you said it wasn't going to be funny. You were right.
They go, well, if these things exist, why can't you prove it? Why can't you scientifically prove it to us? The problem is that a lot of paranormal phenomena, it isn't repeatable. So it doesn't always happen when you want it to.
No.
So it's very difficult thing to study. I think the reason why I believe that this stuff exists is because I've had enough personal experiences, which that suggest to me that there is definitely something there. Can I prove it to you in a scientific way? No, absolutely not at all. But I think there's definitely stuff there. Yeah, I think they exist. I don't think they exist to the point where a lot of people do. Though a lot of people will sort of suggest that every second house has got something in it. Yeah, it's maybe not. And the other part of it possibly is as well is that some people. This is something that I sort of. An idea that I sort of came to this conclusion a few years ago is that some people are more sensitive to that kind of thing than others.
I've got another question I just thought of while we were sitting here when you were talking and I was listening intently.
You're ignoring me.
Why are all ghosts like 18th, 19th century?
That's not true.
Why isn't there like
true.
ones from 1982 and
There are.
But you never hear them.
No. You've got what you call your classic ghost stories or your famous ghost stories, and then you've got the lesser heard ones like a lot of people say things like well, if ghosts exist, why aren't they caveman ghosts, things like that. And there is a story in England where this apparition riding bareback on a horse wearing animal skins crosses the road or something like that, which suggests that he's a caveman ghost, or at least a prehistoric ghost type thing. And they talk about Roman legions marching down, apparitions of soldiers marching down old Roman roads and things like that. Look, I have spoken to people on investigations and things that I've done. People I've spoken to who have seen ghosts in modern clothing.
Okay.
Yeah, it has happened. But I think. My theory is that...
Do they romanticize the older ones? Is that what it is?
I think it's... Yeah, exactly. That's what I was sort of trying to get to. I think with the golden age of spiritualism, which was in the late Victorian period where, people were seeing mediums all the time, getting psychic readings and doing all this sort of stuff.
Well, I think we're heading down... We're sliding towards that again.
Sliding? I think it's... People are into the topic. I'm right into it, absolutely.
I think more of the mainstream is now starting to
probably,
pay attention a little bit.
Yeah, probably mostly due to
TV shows,
reality TV, ghost type shows. Yeah, definitely. I think the Victorian. You think about if I could worldwide, if I could say to you or ask you the question, what is the most famous ghost story that you know?
Oh, I've got family ones that are probably the most famous to me.
Okay, but not personal ones. What about just general?
What about the Headless Horseman? Isn't he supposed to be a ghost?
Oh, the Headless Horseman's a good one. Yeah.
That'd probably be that's the one that came straight to mind.
Yeah. Well, Headless Horseman is based in Celtic folklore.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought it was American Civil War stuff.
No, it goes way back. Goes way back before that. You can read it in my book. Available on my website. www.huntervalleyghosttours.com.au. Yeah.
Where are you doing your next tour?
The Old Vic. The Old Vic in East Maitland on Halloween, Thursday, 31st of October at the Old Vic, and we're going to be doing
left.
Oh wow! And so we got a dinner and show.
Dinner and show.
Dinner and show, really.
Dinner show.
Dinner and show. So yeah. But no, I think a lot of the classic ghost stories, you didn't answer my question, but I think a lot of the classic ghost stories started happening
the Headless.
The Headless Horseman. Yeah. But there's several different versions of that. I think a lot of the stuff started in the Victorian era. I think that's where... So a lot of people then associate with the Victorian dress of the ghosts that they see.
It's always the white lady. You always hear about the white lady.
Oh, the white lady. The white lady is a very common story across the world. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In most countries, particularly Western countries, you'll hear a white lady ghost story somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. Is that where we get that sheep thing from with the eyes cut out? The cheap Halloween costume.
No.
Where does that come from?
Well, the white lady ghost basically is a story of a woman or a lady or a girl who was treated very badly by her husband or boyfriend or something at the time, and she ended up dying in some way, and she comes back to basically haunt any man she tends to encounter. It connects a lot with the hitchhiking ghost story as well. The most famous one in Australia is the Jenny Dixon ghost in the Central Coast, and there's another one in Sydney as well.
Isn't Cockatoo Island in Sydney? Is that the one?
Yeah, but I don't think there's a white lady ghost story there. But the one down in the Central Coast is probably Australia's most famous one, and there's a couple of different versions of that story where at Jenny Dixon Beach, this is a fact. A schooner or a boat sailing ship
Not a drink.
ran aground there, and this woman was killed on the boat. Blah blah blah. She haunts the beach. But the main one that people see is a woman when they drive down the Central Coast Highway, and she's been seen by multiple people down there apparently.
Okay.
And they reckon that she sort of just appears in your car, or you pick her up as a hitchhiker, and by the time you get to the Nora Head Cemetery, she just vanishes.
Is that where she's buried?
Well, quite often the story is, the girl was, raped or killed in that order.
So would you? How do you know she's a ghost if you pick her up as a hitchhiker?
And she vanishes. She just vanishes. Just disappears.
Oh, wow.
In America,
my car seat would be full of poo. Jesus.
There's a famous one in America called something Mary. I can't think of it right now. Resurrection Mary, yeah, she's a very famous American story, but she's associated with the cemetery as well. So these stories do cross, not necessarily cross cultural, but certainly cross continent stories.
Okay,
yeah.
Can they communicate with? Do they know the existence of each other? Because you see these mediums and spiritualists, and they go, "Hold on, I'm getting voices, and I'm hearing this one and that one." Can they see each other? Can they talk to each other, or is it all bollocks?
Well, look, all could be bollocks, but okay. The way I look at it's like this. I think, and I kind of tell this joke on my tour, and Luke, who's a friend of mine, who's a psychic medium, and he was driving down Morpeth there, and he saw this woman, the spirit or a ghostly looking woman on the side of the road, and long story short is basically she walked into the building and vanished, and
not through the door.
And he shit himself. And he's a medium.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it's funny. He's a medium, but he's afraid of ghosts. But the difference is between a medium. So I think you got, at least the theory is you got earthbound spirits, so things that are stuck on the material plane for whichever reason. And you've got spirits that have passed over to whatever you want to call it, heaven, the other side, whatever it is.
Now this goes into the religious side of things.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then what a medium does is connects with their guide. Their guide then talks to the other spirits, and they send messages down to the medium, who then relays that to the client, whoever might be sitting in front of them. So that's sort of that idea. But then you've got, as I said before, you've got the earthbound ones.
So I'm not dismissing this at all, but the guide, right? So say I had a guide or you had a guide.
Spirit guide, yeah.
Yeah. And somebody came to you grew up in Iraq. I said, I want to contact my mother in Iraq. You go, and her name's... You tell your spirit guide, and he has to go and find her.
Well, I'm not a medium, so I don't know how it works.
You see the kind of... You just said it. They go up there and they talk to these people.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I believe that that's what happens. I don't know what happens. Maybe.
Or do you reckon the guy just goes, Hala!
I don't know.
I don't know either, but that's why I'm asking the questions today, because it's my subject.
Yeah. I can't speak for mediums how they work, because even when I used to do tarot readings and stuff like that, I never really did mediumship stuff. I had some interesting things come through with people, which there's no way I could have known. I'm not even doing readings anymore. I think it's. I liked it helping people. If I can help people find their way or their path and things like that, I like that. But when it was just, tell me I'm going to get married, and tell me I'm going to, am I going to be rich? Am I going to have a baby? Am I going to win $1 million? Blah blah. Yeah. I wasn't interested in that. I liked helping out people. But so I wasn't really. But I had little instances where you'd be sitting there in front of the client, and you just get this image in your head, and you go, I don't know what the fuck this means. So you ask him. So I'm just seeing this picture of a guy standing next to a chestnut horse, like in a picture. It's like a photograph. And they go, oh yeah, that's what happened with me, And she said, oh, that picture sits beside my bed. It's a picture of my dad or grandfather or whatever it was. And that was just an image that I got in my head. Was it telepathy? I don't know. Was it a spirit guide relaying the information to me? I don't know. But the image just popped into my head, and I said, look, I don't know what this means, but it might mean something to you. Blah, blah, blah.
What about John Edwards?
John Edward has actually been there's a really interesting book called The Afterlife Experiments, which has been torn to shreds by skeptics, but it is an interesting read.
John Edwards puts on massive live shows.
Yeah, if you're into this stuff,
he's on TV, he travels the world, and he just comes out on stage and starts giving people cold readings.
Yeah. John Edward is actually in this book was tested, and he was very, very accurate. His accuracy was about 80%, which doesn't sound like much, but is actually very bloody good.
80%.
80%.
I'd take that in an exam any day of the week.
Yeah, so he's actually been tested. There was other psychics in this book. I can't remember. Might be Schwartz was the author of the book, but it's called The Afterlife Experiments. And these were situations where they would bring the client in. Just say I'm the medium or the psychic. There would be, I would say, the client would sit behind me. There'd be a black sheet behind me, so that would be, so they couldn't cold read, they couldn't read body language and blah 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 blah. And the client, sorry, the psychic would just give them a reading, and they, didn't know anything about the person. It was all very anonymous, and apparently he tested very well.
Okay.
So in that, so I don't know.
It's just not very believable when he walks out on stage and goes, "I'm getting an elder man. It could be a father or grandfather."
Well, yeah, exactly.
And then they go, "This many people put their hands up."
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's an S. Is it an S? Is it a Sean? Is there a Sean? Oh, maybe it's not a Sean.
Is it named something with an A?
Shen,
C, D, E, F, G, H.
When he does that bit, you just go, "Oh, fuck off."
Yeah, look, one of the things when I was doing readings, one of the things that I found.
But that's different. I believe that's different. When you're sitting with somebody and you're that close, rather than a room full of, 100, 200 people. See, it's different. I think it's different.
Well, you got a lot more chance of being right when you've got a stadium full of people.
Yeah.
One thing you're going to say
your odds
are pretty good.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I found is that I used probably every sense when I was doing readings for people. So you would read their body language. You'd subconsciously read their body language. You'd listen to their tone of voice, the way that they'd answer. Oh, I didn't ask a lot of questions, but just things that they'd say, and you just pick up on a lot of nuances. And when people would you'd say something and they'd react. Yeah, you'd read their reaction. You might say something, I might go, oh, that's good. So you'd read.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was a very intuitive way of doing stuff, But yeah, I don't know. The problem is, I think, I know we've gotten on this topic of ghosts, but I think the problem with a lot of readers and readings and psychic readings at the moment, if you've watched this podcast, you'll know that I'm actually quite skeptical at the same time. Is that there's too much of it out there at the moment. There's too many people out there just doing it for the money, and at one point I was doing that, and I didn't like it.
Okay.
Because I liked to help people. If I could, and I didn't like doing it purely for the money. If I could get some money and help people, I liked it. But if it was just purely about the money, I hated it.
Cool. So if you want a free one, come and see me. If you need help,
done it for a while, actually. Yeah,
we might do it afterwards.
Yeah, I've given you a reading.
I know, a long time ago.
But yeah. So in terms of ghosts, I'll go back to the beginning. So there's kind of three theories here with most modern ghost hunters or paranormal investigators.
But you don't like that word, do you? Hunt.
Well, I don't particularly like that. I'm glad you brought this up because I can't stand the word paranormal anymore.
Really?
I hate the word paranormal. Para means beyond, and normal means normal, every day.
So beyond the normal.
Beyond the normal. So, or exception to the rule. I hate the term because it's being overly used for things that shouldn't be now.
Like what?
Well, people go, "Oh, I've got a wonderful para friend."
A what?
A para group. I'm a paranormal group. So you're a beyond normal group. A para friend. Para buddies.
I've never heard.
Para means beyond. So you're my beyond buddy. They've taken and they've just used the term.
So you don't like what people are doing to the word.
I don't like the way they're using the word. It's not the word itself, obviously, but I hate the way that it's just thrown about these days, and
willy-nilly. It's lost thrown away willy-nilly.
It's lost all meaning. That's what I hate about it. It's being used.
Am I your para friend?
No. You're barely a real friend.
Oh, well, I am real though. Look.
But no, yeah, don't get me started on that. We could be for a very long time.
The para friend thing.
Well, not even that. It's just the phrase has lost all meaning.
Okay, what would you call it then?
Well, I'd like to use the word unexplained. Or
unexplained?
Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Yeah, supernatural. I actually prefer unexplained because it means it has been at this stage has been unexplained.
Like UFO, unexplained object.
Yeah, unidentified flying object. Yeah.
So we're dealing with the unexplained, not the paranormal.
I just prefer that term. I think it's a much better term, but maybe I just use it because I fucking can't stand the word paranormal anymore. I hate it. It's just been overused and it just irritates me.
Well, there's been a huge spike in shows, like TV
and
shows
groups.
and all that type of stuff.
I remember a Because the first ghost hunt that I ever went on was a mate of mine, and we went to a local cemetery, and we had no fucking idea what we were doing. We just wandered around with cameras and just taking snapshots of this. Now we, got some interesting photos, but they're probably nothing at the end of the day. And then, he kind of...
Did you get any orbs?
Yeah, we got heaps of orbs. But by the way, I don't believe in this. You can read my book all about it. But yeah, so we got some interesting things, and it was, he kind of lost interest in it and everything like that. But I sort of continued on and kept doing investigations by myself. And most investigations I've done have been by myself.
Yeah.
I haven't done one for probably maybe a year, at least a year, maybe even 2 years. Because I got to the point where there's only so much you can achieve by doing investigations, and what I preferred to do would be to go to private houses, because people live in a house that may be haunted, they're experiencing it all the time, So, and for me, they were the best sources of information. So that's what I prefer to do. I'm not a big fan of wandering around. I mean, I've wandered around every cemetery in the Hunter region at some point, pretty much, except for the Jewish one in Maitland. I haven't been there yet. The Jewish cemetery.
Okay.
Yeah, it's down south.
Isn't there one that's part of Sandgate too? Sandgate's massive.
Yeah, Sandgate is absolutely huge. And I've said this many times, but don't do it. If you want to get smashed, absolutely shit-faced hammered for free, anytime you like,
don't
go to the cemetery, because there is alcohol everywhere. People put a beer on a grave, or a bottle of scotch, or a bottle of bourbon, or whatever, and it's like, because offerings or whatever.
Or if you need to, apologize to your girlfriend or wife, and you need to get some cheap flowers.
I don't do that.
There's a life
Just go to the bush and pick some. But there is just that the amount of alcohol in certain sections of Sandgate Cemetery is mind-boggling. There is that much alcohol. It's unbelievable. Jesus Christ, there's another bottle of Plonk. Another bottle of Plonk, another bottle of wine, another bottle of bourbon.
I don't know if I could take a bottle off a grave.
No, most people wouldn't, but take what you get smashed anytime you like.
It'd be massively disrespectful.
Oh, absolutely. But no, I've been to most of the cemeteries around here, and I would go as far as to say that most cemeteries are very void of any kind of paranormal activity. Some do have some, but I just look at...
Do some have some? Some? What?
Yeah, some do. But I think my theory is that if you happen to, just pass away and became a ghost and a spirit, where would you like to hang around? I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to hang around a cemetery. I'd want to hang around somewhere nice and comfortable and around the people that I liked and things like that. I wouldn't bum around.
Do you reckon they're all there? It's just only some can communicate and some can't.
All where?
Like all on the one plane.
Well, this is where you're talking. I think I still haven't got to my point what I was trying to say before about the theory. So the theory is the imprint type thing,
yes.
The recording type ghost, or the intelligent spirit, which is there. It hangs around. You can communicate with it and stuff like that. And then you got poltergeists, which I think poltergeists are a completely different kettle of fish. I'm more likely to believe that poltergeist is probably either one, fake, or two, maybe some sort of telekinesis with it. So being able to move things with your mind. Yeah, with the power of your mind. I'm probably more likely to go with A, or number one there, in I can't remember the name of it. They did the movie about it, but the very famous case, the Enfield poltergeist case,
Amityville.
No. Oh, that was fake, by the way. Well, I think so. A lot of people argue with me on that point. But the Enfield case, I reckon it was the girls. There was the Conjuring 2, I think they made a movie about it, who, by the way, the Warrens had very little to do with that case. It was mainly the Society for Psychical Research.
I'll tell you what I did like. I loved the movie, the first paranormal movie.
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were okay.
That first movie was fantastic.
Yeah, they were okay.
Imagine waking up and having someone just standing looking at you. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Look, there's definitely shit that goes on, in my opinion. I've experienced... the first time that I saw, and I think I spoke about this in my book.
How many times can you mention?
Plugs?
How many times can you mention?
I think I did speak
your
about
book.
I was in a Michelle and I were watching a movie, and it was very dark, and so we sit right down the front, and it was very, very dark in front of the screen, and there was this little girl about that tall. What should she be, 3 or 4 years of age?
5.
Whatever. Around about that. and she was wearing. Strange enough, she was wearing old-fashioned clothing.
There you go.
What I would call a puffy dress, so puffy here and that. And you know how little kids, she might have been younger than 5, because you know when kids start to walk, but they almost look like they're right about to face plant every time they say, and they sort of...
Those hard shoes going...
Yeah, and they walk very quickly, you know, like, and that's what she was doing. She was walking, and I'm going, oh, someone's bloody kid's down the front mucking around being a little shit. That's honestly what I thought. And then the lights, the movie projector screen come on, and then she vanished. She disappeared, and I was just going, and I said, did you just see that? And she said, yeah. And I'm like going, well, I didn't even immediately go, I've seen a ghost. I'm just going, what the fuck was that? Yeah, what did I just see? Because that was bizarre. Like, I didn't immediately think she was a ghost. It was later, about probably maybe an hour later, that I suddenly went, I think I've actually just seen a ghost. Because it was just, she as soon as the lights came on, or the projector light hit the screen, and the front of the cinema lit up, she just disappeared, gone instantly. So that was the first. I would even far as go to say that's probably the most authentic apparition that I've seen. I've seen another 2 figures which don't fit the classical ghost, but she did. This little girl did. So yeah. One I saw a man in our shop in Morpeth one day. He vanished as soon as I saw him. And then there was at Maitland Jail. I saw a figure up in one of the guard towers there one night.
See, I've been through Maitland Jail and I haven't seen a thing.
Yeah. So I believe that there's something there. And again, like people sort of go, you know, most haunted this, most haunted that. Like in Australia, you've got Monte Cristo, which is the Australia's most haunted house, has got the claim. And I've been there, and I don't think it's any more haunted than any other places that I've been to. I think it's like a lot of things. Places get a reputation. Yeah. You know, and I think Maitland Jail, particularly in our neck of the woods, you know, it's got the reputation. There was a poll a couple of years ago, and they did a poll, which is the most haunted place in the Hunter, and Maitland Jail came up. I don't think it's more haunted than
Monte Pio.
Monte Pio is another one a lot of people talk about. That's in my other book, by the way. Do you reckon there's stuff there?
This wasn't
the old Georgian Dragon. Okay, you had experiences of the old Georgian Dragon.
Yes, I have had experiences.
You know, and before that, you were a total skeptic.
There's a family story I've got. Okay. So my family's a fishing village in Dublin called Howth. And it was a huge storm one night. This has been handed down. Okay. This huge storm. And this
didn't happen to you personally?
No, it didn't happen to me personally. Okay. And there's a knock on the door. And there's a young child, 6, 7 years of age. They go, come on, out of the rain, out of the thing. And they give him something to eat, and they warm him by the fire. And he goes, I've got to go. I have to go. You know? And they go, well, where's your mum and dad? What are you going to do? And the kid leaves. As soon as he left, they got a phone call from a family member in Scotland describing the boy that had just died. That was a family member. Okay. And to that day, I still gives me shivers down my spine because they reckon he was coming to say goodbye. That's what they call a crisis apparition. Okay. Yeah. Crisis apparitions are apparitions that appear, and I've only ever had one person tell me. Well, now two, including yourself, but it didn't happen to you directly. But this person it happened directly. So crisis apparition is something. My father was there. My father was there when it happened.
Oh, your dad was there. Yeah. He actually saw it. So apparently, a lot of crisis apparitions. What happens is that basically at the moment of somebody's death, the person will appear at a loved one's house, or a relative's house, or something like that. Or maybe even a friend's house. Yeah. Apparently, it used to happen a lot in the wars. So when, whomever was over fighting against the Germans in the Battle of the Somme, he would appear to his mum. The soldier would appear to his mum in Australia at the time of his death. Okay, interesting. So, yeah, they're called crisis apparitions, and it's a very common thing. The guy that I was talking to one day when we still had our shop, we just got chatting about it, and he said, I was in the house one day and this mate of mine turned up. And I hadn't seen him for years, and he'd lived somewhere else in a different state or something. I can't remember the exact story. But he said, he's like, well, what the fuck are you doing here? And he said, oh, no, blah, 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 blah. And then he sort of either disappeared or left or whatever happened. And then he got a phone call later on that day that he died around that time. Right. So crisis apparition is actually very common. A very common thing, yeah.
Could that happen? We're getting off topic here, because... Could that happen in a dream? Could you dream the person and then you wake up, mention them, and they die the next day?
Well, a lot of those type of things, you hear a lot of those sort of stories about prophetic things happening, people dreaming that something happens or someone dies. Not even necessarily someone dies, but something happens and they wake up and, people, a bit like spirits of dead people appear to them in their dreams and things like that. But dreams are very difficult to analyse.
Yes, they are.
Are you just... I mean, I've had multiple deaths about the people in my life who have passed away.
Okay.
I don't know if they were... I don't remember them telling me anything of any significance to my life at the time. They just happened to be there. Maybe I was just thinking about them at the time. I don't know. But yeah, crisis apparitions is very interesting. So there's a fourth one actually. Which I like that about. But very, very common thing. Very common.
Okay.
Thing.
But that was a one-off. Boom. Never seen again.
Yeah.
So, off we went to wherever they go.
Yep.
So, you believe that we all have a spirit, a soul.
Yeah.
You hate me putting that word on it, didn't you?
Look, I've had a lot of experiences, and believe me, lately, since finding out what I found out about myself, I've thought about this quite a bit. And then you really start to really question your beliefs and things like that. Things
so
before
changed.
That no, it hasn't changed. It's just you sort of go, oh shit, is that? Well, I hope it's real. I hope these things are real. I hope there is something beyond this. But no, I've had lots of little. One of the things I kind of think I really do believe in is telepathy. I don't know if you do this with your partner, but I'll be singing a song in my head.
Yeah, and then she'll
and
sing
Michelle
it out loud.
will start singing the song out loud, and I go, "You're fucking kidding me!" I go, "Was I singing that out loud just now?" No.
It tends to be reversed with us, where somebody will.
But you and me have had this a million times. Well, not a lot lately though. But I remember
Get out of my head.
This
Get out
prick
of
here,
my
right?
head.
If I'm fucking doing something, he's bad as a woman. When I'm that sounds that sounds
don't
really.
touch me, you woman hater.
But no, he's as bad as your missus when you're fucking doing something. When you might be sawing a piece of wood and they want to come up and talk to you. It's like, for fuck's sake, I'm busy. If anyone's going to ring me when I'm fucking got something in my hands, nothing rude, but when I've got something in my hands and I'm doing something, like cut a piece of wood or got a drill or whatever, he fucking rings me every single time. I was like, how does he know?
The last time was the trailer. You were fixing something on the trailer. Michelle answers the phone.
So next time you feel an urge to ring me, just wait 5 minutes.
I tend to say things that's on other people's mind. People be thinking things, and I'll just go, no, we're not going to do that. And they go, get out of my head.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I do that a little
bit.
bit.
I haven't noticed a lot of that between me and you lately, but a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was
fucking all the time.
Yeah.
It was all the time. I'm sitting back too far.
So, spirituality, souls, ghosts.
Yeah.
Different types. How do we catch them? Can we catch them?
Ask Bill Murray.
He was a massive skeptic in that at the start of that show.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Dan Aykroyd's more the paranormal.
The guy, Egon.
Yeah.
Egon was like the scientist type version of it. Good show.
Yeah, I love Ghostbusters. But I think I'm kind of happy to also kind of believe in the residual thing. That one of the things, and I talk about this a lot, is the footsteps thing. Now, we've even talked about the footsteps where you work at the moment in the hallway. Now, the way I look at that, if over the years and years and years of an activity happening in an area, somehow it gets imprinted on that area and it just replays itself from whatever mechanism. I don't know what it could be. I don't know I don't know what could cause this, but or allow it to happen. They call it stone tape theory too. So something's recorded on the building. Like, the interesting thing about this house is this was built in about this federation, so it's built in about 1910. I have not had one paranormal experience in this house. One.
Or unexplained.
Or unexplained, yeah. But in the house at Morpeth that we lived in, it was not all the time, but a lot more common there.
Do you think ghosts choose who they show themselves to?
Well, actually, I'm going to mention a friend of ours who said something to me once, and I never thought about this before. Actually, I think it was in an interview I did with her.
What? One of your books?
For my book. It's here somewhere. But anyway, and she said, she kind of, well, this is basically what she was saying, that a person can activate a haunting, basically. Okay. So someone might walk into a building and there might be a spirit there, and there might be some rapport or some sort of empathy between the spirit and the person, which then kind of activates the ghost, or the ghost becomes interested in them. Now, one of the things that I have really, really noticed on my ghost tours is that, now I've been doing ghost tours, I'm trying to think when I started, since 2012, I think. Okay. I think I started doing my very first one. And
but not bad either, more historical than ghost, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of history in there as well. But
this is just, we'll just put Murray's details along the bottom at the end of this show.
Just down the bottom, put www.huntervalleyghosttours.com.au. But one of the things that I've noticed is that I can almost pick the person in the group who's going to have more experiences than anybody else.
Okay.
It's a certain personality type. They have a certain look. They've got a certain physical appearance.
Aura.
No, I wouldn't say an aura. It's more, I can almost pick them straight away.
Okay.
I'm going to go, you're going to have more experience than everybody else. And they generally do. Because I know, like I said earlier, I think there's certain people that have abilities that other people don't. Like people who are very mental, but yeah, like use their mind, are very analytical. Logical will probably have less, where these people tend to, this type of person I'm talking about, they tend to have more experiences.
Yeah. Cool.
I had a lady one night, and she was telling me stuff before I could even tell her.
Wow.
She was saying, she would go, blah, 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 happened here. And I went, yep. I didn't even have to tell her.
I was on a ghost tour in Dublin, St. Kevin's. And they tell the story. St. Kevin's was this church where they used to do Catholic masses when they weren't supposed to. When it was banned.
Oh, okay.
And they caught the bishop doing it, and they put him in lead pants, and they poured boiling oil into his lead pants, and they just left him over a fire until his bottom half fell off.
What the fuck is wrong with human beings?
I don't know. Anyway, he said he was on the bus one night, and he got off the bus, and this lady's jumped off the bus and run over.
I'm sure Jesus would have approved of that.
He would have. Run over to this tree because there was a young kid crying under the tree. There was nobody there. He said it's happened 3 times. 3 times someone different has just got off to go and look after the child under the tree. So maybe the child's there all the time. It just chooses to show itself to these people, or these people are chosen to see it. So,
there's something
interesting question.
Something in them that.
But is it linked to religion at all? Because the spirits have to go somewhere. Do they all communicate? Like there's a whole. I think there's a whole other hour in this show before.
Yeah, definitely.
But is there a link? Is there a spiritual link?
Are you talking? Do spirits communicate with each other?
Yes.
Because at the old Vic where you're currently working. Now Jimmy told me a story then, this is going to be a bit of a spoiler for the tour, but he said that there's a character there, a man who tends to dominate the 2 other female spirits or something there.
Yeah, something along
those lines. Now that's interesting. I've heard that before from other people. Now, I mean, that's just hearsay from someone who just turned up there and picked it up. But
if you think back in that time, that would have happened anyway.
Yeah.
1837, the male would have dominated.
Exactly.
The alpha male of the house would have been the alpha male.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's. I don't read too much into that.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I think people start to think very sinisterly about it. He must be a bad spirit, therefore that's why he's trying to control the others and all this stuff.
That's just what he did in the day.
Yeah, it's just, and a lot of people say that too. You know, a ghost, or all ghosts bad. And I go, well, are all humans bad? If we are just, spirits that cross over, aren't we pretty much going to be the same?
Crossover from where? Where is this other? Do you know what I'm saying? Is it heaven? Is it hell? Is it purgatory?
Well,
is it because there's this whole Catholicism thing, right? That was ingrained into me as a small person. That you go to heaven or you go to hell or you go to purgatory.
Now, that's that's waiting room.
Yeah. So is the spirits that are not in heaven and hell in purgatory, and are they the ones that can cross back and forth? This was my own theory. That they are the spirits that are in purgatory. So they can't be bad, they could be good, they could have been a little bit bad, they could have been a little bit good. It's just like humans,
Yeah. I think they're just humans plus. I don't really, when it comes to belief, I don't really know. There's lots of theories, and there's lots of ideas, and then a lot of people will have an idea, and then that they have another experience, and then that theory gets blown out of the water. One of the things that I really like is EVP, which is electronic voice phenomenon, and apparently this started from a fella who was out in the woods in Norway, and he was recording Birdsong.
Oh, is this the white noise thing you're talking about? You can hear voices in the white noise.
Yeah, you hear voices in recordings. Yeah,
but you can't hear while you're there.
No, you don't normally hear it at the time. You hear it sometimes on playback.
Get out.
Yeah, and usually they're one or two. But anyway, how it's kind of started is this guy's out recording Birdsong, and then when he went home and listened to the recordings, he's going, and there was no people around, and he's gone, there's voices in here that I didn't hear at the time, and that's kind of, he was one, I can't remember his name, but he was one of the first ones that sort of...
Let's call him Hans.
It might have been Hans. I can't remember his name. But yeah, he was one of the first sort of to record it, and then it sort of became... I'll give you an example.
Ogle. Let's call him Hans Ogle.
I'll give you an example. And I wasn't there for this. But our mutual friend, Renata, and another girl I used to do some investigations with were in an old house in Hamilton, and there was only them, and they're all... there may have been another person there, but they were all female.
Yeah.
And on their recording, when they came back home and listened to it, was I can't remember what he said, but it was a male's voice, really, really, really prominent in the recording.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I haven't had one for quite some time because I haven't done any EVP recordings for a long time, but I've gotten some really interesting stuff over the years too. So it's usually one word. It might even be a grunt or a yes or a no or a bye or a, you know.
Or ask me bollocks. What about the other creatures that appear in the spirit world?
Which creatures?
You know, the ones from hell.
Oh, demons.
Do you believe in them?
I get a little bit confused why demons get thrown in the same bag as ghosts. Okay, so if we want to look at the mythology
because they're unexplained.
Yeah, they're unexplained, but I don't understand how movies like Conjuring and all that always end up being a demon and a ghost, and to me they're two different things. Okay, so a ghost generally would be a human being who lived and passed away.
Yes.
Okay, so then you've got angels and demons. Now, if you believe in angels and demons, which is part of the whole, you know, Judeo-Christian mythology, and Islamic as well, well, they were beings that never existed as humans. They are celestial beings, either from up or down, from either heaven and hell. So I don't understand where people get all excited about demons and throw them in the same category as ghosts. I mean, why don't people throw fairies in the same category as ghosts? Why don't people... leprechauns or...
here we go.
Or whatever, you know what I mean? Sprites.
You went straight to my homeland. Fairies and fucking leprechaun. Fuck you.
But you know what I mean? Like any paranormal type creature, you know, why do they all get lumped into the same category? Why don't they get lumped into the same category? Why do demons and ghosts go together? I don't. To me, that makes no sense.
Okay, well, it's just a simple question. Settle down.
So, do I believe in them? Sometimes it's about labels. A lot of Celtic mythology, as you probably know, you've got fae or fairies,
banshees,
and they are nature spirits. They're connected to a certain area.
The Green Man.
Oh, Green Man was sort of the forest, you know, the protector of the forest. But you know, they weren't necessarily pre-Christian.
Yeah.
You know, weren't necessarily seen as good or bad. They were just forces of nature, and some could be nice and some could be nasty. Does that make them demons? I don't know.
Just like nature.
Yeah. Nature can be good or bad. So it's a lot of the time it comes down to what you name, what, and I don't like labels. So what label you put on something to make it this thing. I don't particularly like the word ghost, to be honest with you, because people go ghost and they already have an idea.
We don't like the word ghost. You just make up your own words and we'll just carry on.
Well, ghost conjures up in most people's minds an image they've probably seen in a movie or in a book or something like that.
The word ghost, I'll tell you why they're connected. The word ghost generally triggers people's fear and evil. People just go, bad. It's ghost. It's bad. So that's why they're lumped together. So I've explained the unexplained to you. Yeah,
but actually there's a question you asked really early on that you know, about... Because a lot of people do ask you when you're into this stuff, do ghosts follow you home and stuff like that? And I don't necessarily think that they do, unless they're maybe an intelligent type spirit, I don't know. But the word haunting comes from a Germanic word called Hanter or something like that, which means home. Or something along those lines, which suggests that ghosts, and when you look at a lot of world history and a lot of world mythology, you find that most ghosts do haunt a spot, like a place. They're not free roaming, so to speak.
But they can haunt people, can't they?
Huh?
Say
Attached to a person.
Yeah. So if you live in a house and you think it's haunted, and you go shit, and you move to the next house, and the ghost goes with you, you're fucked.
Yeah, but I don't think that happens very often. Most people, when they do experience things in houses and stuff like that, if it's so bad that they've got to move out, it usually stops when they move.
Yeah.
I think there is instances where the old Hag Syndrome or sleep paralysis that people experience. A lot of people who have that. I mean, there's the scientific theory is that part of
is that the succubus?
Where where part of your brain is awake and aware, but your body hasn't quite connected yet, and so you feel paralyzed and all that stuff. And then there's people who feel like and this happened to me once and once only, thank God. And this was in a house, in a girlfriend's house of mine when I was there by myself, laying in bed in the house about 10 o'clock in the morning, as I always do. And yeah, this invisible force. Actually, no, my brother was staying over that night as well.
What type of family do you have?
Oh, no. It's a long story, but anyway. Her mum was away. We sort of partied the night before.
That's a whole other podcast, that one.
We crashed. She went to work. I crashed in bed. My brother crashed in a different room. And this thing it held me down to the bed, this invisible force. And I was just going, what the fuck is going on here? And yeah, I was totally paralyzed. So it only happened to me once. But some people who have the old Hag syndrome, they have it. They have it in lots of different places. Yeah, different places.
So it's connected to them.
Well, it might be. Yeah. But it's quite terrifying.
Are we going to wind this up at any time soon?
Yeah. So, any other questions? You knew this was going to be a long topic.
But I thought if we
don't get me started on paranormal TV shows.
Right. Well,
because that could be another hour and a half.
I know. I'm aware of this. Which is why I just went, do you think we should wind it up here?
I don't know if I've, every week, I'm not sure, because you interject all the fucking time.
Well, it's two people in this podcast. I am allowed to talk.
Yeah, you're allowed to talk, but you always jump in when I haven't quite made my point.
It's because you take so long to get there. It's like a winding road just to go from A to B.
So yeah, look, I don't know. Is there different types of ghosts? Maybe. I'm not really quite sure anymore. A lot of people seem to like that idea. Do they communicate with each other? They were the kind of questions you asked earlier.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. Maybe.
If there's two ghosts in a building, does the other one know it's there?
Well, it depends if it's what you consider
intelligent. You sucked me straight back in, didn't you?
And then if it's an intelligent ghost or a residual thing. See, the thing about residual ghosts or recording ghosts is they tend to go about their business and they don't care if someone's watching them or looking at them. And even the people go, hey, what are you doing over there? They just continue to walk down the hallway or whatever happens. So they seem to be unconscious if they have.
I have seen one of them about 5 times.
Really?
Yep, in the one spot. Do the same thing over and over and over again.
Oh, okay. You can't elaborate? If you want to say from the next book.
It's a soldier with a duffel bag. Drags the duffel bag comes through the wall, walks through the wall.
Wow.
Seen it about 5 times.
Okay. Wow. Should I ask where?
Oh, you know where.
Okay, we'll save it for my next book. All right, so I don't know if I've achieved anything there. I hope I did, but
you got to talk a lot.
Yeah, I got to talk a lot. Oh well, Well, the thing is,
it's a subject that's close to your heart.
It is, but I've kind of.
It is.
I've kind of I've kind of distanced myself from a lot of the
from your power
the ghosty. From that, not that I will never. Sorry, not that I won't ever have an interest in it ever again, and anything that's ghosty or supernatural, I tend to be interested in.
Please contact him on.
But I think I probably distance myself more from the people involved.
Yeah.
It's in Australia, the paranormal teams. It's it's really turned into a bitch fest, and one being catty about the other one, and I just have no time for that. If you're in it for that, if you're in it for the fame and the glory, well, in my opinion, you're into it for the wrong reasons. I was always interested in getting answers and getting evidence and stuff like that, where people were more, oh, I'm chummy with this person, I'm buddies with this guy, and I was like, I'm not interested in that shit. Show me some evidence, show me some techniques. I don't know, I'm not interested in your bullshit.
Give me your voice box. Is it voice box? Spirit box.
Spirit box. Yeah.
Anyway.
Bye. Give us a like, comment, etc., and we'll see you in the future.
So, do they exist?
Warwick Moss, that was...
I don't care.
The extraordinary.
Yes, it was. The unexplained.
You were here for that.
I hope you enjoyed. I hope we covered everything. I hope your message came through and we got to it. And, yes, we'll see you in the spirit world. Bye.
See you on the other side. Bye.